Expert Will Geddes is once again with me. He's the Managing Director of International Corporate Protection, and he joins me now live from CNN London. So really, this has got the attention of the British Prime Minister, Will. I mean, he's flying back to London, and he's going to take part in these emergency meetings because they are taking this quite seriously. What does that tell you about what the nature of the attack might have been today?
Well, you know, as you say, Hannah, it's pretty indicative as to the severity of this attack in Woolwich today. If the Prime Minister is actually going to be issuing his own statement, and particularly in such short order after the incident taking place. The gathering of Cobra, particularly Cabinet Office Briefing Room A, as it is known in its fullest, if you like, interpretation, is generally only gathered in the most serious of incidents. And of late, it's only been in the last few years when it has been a terrorist incident that's taken place, or there is a threat of a terrorist incident taking place. So we can see the highest echelons of the British government obviously getting involved. And bearing in mind at the Cobra meeting, there'll also be the senior representatives of the Domestic Security Services, MI5, who no doubt will be sharing their intelligence, or certainly their analysis of what's been going on.
If they do suspect a terrorist attack, presumably they're trying to look at these suspects, who they may be in communication with, who they were in communication with before the attack, to try to determine if there are more threats out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing they'll be doing is identifying these two individuals, albeit they're in critical condition right now, so they'll be searched for any ID that they have, if they have any cell phones on them. If they do, those will be interrogated very, very quickly. And no doubt once they've identified their home addresses or business addresses, they'll be going to those locations to search them thoroughly, go through any computers, to try and determine whether these two individuals were operating on their own or whether they're working as part of a larger cell.
Tell you that according to reports, they lingered after the attack. They didn't run away.
Yeah, this is really concerning, and certainly a lot of eyewitness reports are coming in that these individuals stood near the body of their victim, tried to either take photographs themselves or invited members of the general public to take photographs of themselves and of their victim. Now, we know with a lot of terrorist groups these days, they use the media as a very important tool to promote whatever agenda they're trying to seek, whether it be terrorism in its most fundamental sense of creating concern and terror within the local community, or whether it be to promote their own agenda. And inevitably, the Metropolitan Police will be trying to gather any footage that the general public have taken, including the YouTube footage that you've been showing, to try and, again, gather as much information as they can about what actually occurred and how the attack actually was instigated.
But at the same time, Will, if this was indeed a terrorist attack, wasn't the sort of you can think of more surgical tactical strikes. I mean, they basically, according to reports, ran over a man, an active duty soldier, we believe, and then started attacking him in the middle of the street. I mean, it doesn't sound like something that was pre-planned, does it?
Well, you don't know. I mean, it's difficult to say. And I mean, until we can get eyewitness reports as to whether the vehicle was in stationary position, waiting for the individual to either come out of the barracks and maybe followed him from that location. The fact he was also wearing this T-shirt, which promoted Help for Heroes, which obviously is a charity for injured servicemen. Again, there could have been some period of reconnaissance. In terms of the target selection, it could have been any individual that was leaving the barracks. It wouldn't necessarily be that individual himself, the victim himself. But again, more information no doubt will come to light as to whether this was a spontaneous and opportunistic attack or whether there was some premeditated reconnaissance undertaken in advance.